All right, hi everyone. This is the update for December 20th, Thursday, December 20th. And it's nice to see so many people on the line. Thank you for your patience while I finished up a surprise audit from a client, and also our fax and email went down in the office, so I had to fix that this morning. But everything's kind of resolved now. So I actually have a lot of updates, almost too much when I wrote them down. So I'm just going to give you guys 3 updates this week, and as more of the things I have to update you on continue to develop, I will include that in the next update. But first, I want to let you know about the SimCom. We have started talking and dialoguing with Language Line. Their trainer is Amy Wade. We sent them. They wanted a demo done of SimComming, which it's because they don't really understand what it is. Like, there's nothing to SimComming, so we would just say at a given date, everyone start SimComming the intro. But they want it to be like in a video and demoed. So, anyways, I had one of our trainers, Elizabeth, do the demo. We sent it to them. For approval, there was a little bit of her screen showing, so they asked for it to be reshot, but I just cropped it and sent it to them this morning. So look for that sometime this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and we'll be able to start SimComming the intro to the hearing client. Actually, you can SimCom throughout if you need to. And that came about really interesting because we had been advocating for it, but they had Language Line's sales team had made a appointment to give a demo to the NAD, and they didn't think to let me know or give us a heads up or even consult with us at all or anything until the day before they went. They just said, hey, we're giving a demo at the NAD, could you beef up your interpreters between 10 and 2 or something? And I was like, whoa, what? You're going to the NAD? Do you know who they are? And anyway, so I talked to them a little bit about that, and some of the pros and cons of how they run things, and then NAD's position paper on VRI. And so anyways, they still went, and it went pretty good, but they did get feedback as well that they connected to interpreters and no one was SimComming, and what was that? So the NAD was kind of adamant that things be SimCon. So that got the ball rolling and sort of validated and confirmed our position. And so, after all the powers that be kind of converged and approved it, we were asked now to SimCom. So that's kind of the big update as far as new procedural things going. So look for that. I'm very, very excited that we are going to begin using a new scheduling system. And so this is kind of a twofold announcement. So first is the big announcement for the company. Okay, all of Interpretech in 2019, we're going to be switching to a new scheduling system called Interpreter Intelligence. So if you remember a couple updates ago, I had asked for input if any of you had worked coordinating or scheduling and had some familiarity with different scheduling systems, and I did collect that. We had an analysis done of about 5 really large scheduling platforms, specifically for language interpreting and for sign language, and we were looking for ones that were the most adaptable and could be customized. And so we've settled on Interpreter Intelligence, but we won't be rolling that out to the second quarter. Anyways, for our group, just our Language Line VI group, we are doing 1,000 hours a week, and it is an overwhelming amount of scheduling, especially because they can be broken down into shifts as short as a half an hour. So we need something now. We cannot start the first quarter at 1,000 hours a week using the spreadsheet. So we have gone ahead and got a system called Deputy. Many of you might have heard that. We actually demoed it back in March because we've been exploring this for a while. We have been constantly looking forward to make sure that we can scale this program. So part of that is taking a look at what numbers we hit will require new equipment or new platform or different ways of doing things. So we've been looking at a few. Some of you demoed Deputy for us back in March or April, and we've kind of liked that one and kind of just like put it on the shelf and have been waiting. And so now that we've hit the numbers needed, we are going to go ahead and use that. We actually have, Joanna's building the schedule for first quarter right into deputy now. We're going to roll that out next week. You guys will have demos. You'll be invited to the link. It's so nice because everything that we do now basically will be automated. It will replace emails, scheduling, Teams chat stuff. You can do ads and drops. I mean, we're still, it's not like it will be a free-for-all because obviously you still can't drop hours without letting us know. But you guys can swap hours on the system. You will post hours there once they're approved. You'll be able to request ads and drops right in the app, and then I will get the alert and I can like approve the drops and ads right on the app. It'll be so much easier, and this is going to help a lot with like after hours, overnight, and weekend scheduling. So it'll make us all a little bit more independent and definitely cut down on errors because we can export that and it can go right to billing and we'll have everything kind of like nice and neat. And then of course we are only using that, like our group is special because we have this huge scheduling need, so we're able to like get something to use just for us. But once interpreter intelligence is rolled out for the company, we'll switch to that because it has the same features, only now will be integrated and standard at the company level. So anyways, this is really exciting. So look for that coming next week. There's like YouTube videos and demos on it. If you're ambitious and you're like, oh, what is it? You know, go to YouTube and watch some deputy videos. But it is super intuitive. You will pick it up like that. There's nothing to it. So so that's coming. And what else? Okay. So the third thing I wanted to update you on is that we got another increase from Language Line. It's really exciting. It is stressful and it is hard finding more interpreters, but it is really great to be growing. We look at all the amazing people we've added. I mean, our team is phenomenal. We have some of the best interpreters in the country, and soon we're going to be the biggest remote workforce in the country, interpreter workforce. All very exciting stuff. So our new targets are 25 in January. That hasn't changed, but we're going to go up to 34 full FTE full-time in the second quarter. And so we're going to start looking at, I mean, I hope you guys keep giving us more referrals. I mean, especially as new people come in with new networks and new connections, give us some referrals. But I'm also hoping that like we can scale quickly with people our current employees going up to part-time and full-time. That's super helpful for us. So continue to consider that. There's like no pressure to go part or full-time really, because I understand completely how people like variety in their work, or you want to mix it up with community work. That's fine. I just want to make sure that you know that it's there, and when you are taking a look, I hope you've seen the value of VRI as sort of like a financial stabilizer in your year, because you're able to have more of a baseline of income with that. So and then of course the benefits, but so keep thinking about that as we hit every quarter. Right now we kind of have open, or I would say rolling position changes, so really you don't have to wait to the top of the quarter because we have the request open now when it's unfilled. We are going to be trying a few different things, like excuse me, I have noticed something really interesting this year that I don't know why, I'm still thinking about it, maybe you guys have some insights, but this year of all of our hiring, we actually hired like 10 people from North Carolina, but from all over the state, not from one particular area or another. And so like, what's going on in North Carolina? How is there such an open workforce there? I mean, it's kind of cool. So are there opportunities in North Carolina? So I've been thinking about that. So I'm going to try and run a couple of Facebook campaigns in a few key cities in North Carolina. I'm thinking like Raleigh, Durham area, because we have quite a few in that area. And if you guys know of a few other places where there's like pockets of interpreters, let me know, because I'm going to run a few campaigns there. I'm also really hoping to recruit in Texas. It's a huge market. I mean, it's markets of markets there. It's Texas has an economy the size of Canada, basically. So I'm hoping that there are some interpreters there that would like to work and cut down on their commute and do some VRI interpreting. So I'm going to be running a Facebook campaign in Austin. I was also thinking of running one. We have a couple contracts in the southern part of the state, like towards the border, Laredo area, San Juan. So I was going to run a campaign there because we actually have community work as well. And so if you guys know of any other really good cities or towns in Texas that have pockets of interpreters where I could run a 6-week campaign and sort of do some brand awareness and get a good reach there, that would be really helpful. And so that's what we're doing for coordinating or for recruiting. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is sort of like a 2019 game plan. So every year I write a business plan for the next year, and I do it next week. I do it the last week of January to allow, or December to allow like maximum time for all my ideas to kind of like percolate and formulate, and then I flesh it out on a game plan and I submit it. So a business plan for a region, it looks like I estimate like how many new hires we'll have. I estimate what new leads and new business will come out. I report on staff, like assets, like who's doing what outstanding things. I report on our top clients. What are their trends? How do I see them growing or declining? We have a lot of school districts, so are any kids graduating, or are we getting new kindergartners in? Like, I predict that stuff. So how that impacts you is there is a section that I do in the business plan on personnel assets, and this is basically an inventory of our region for assets. I mean, we don't have product, and I don't need to inventory like pens and stuff, but we have amazing assets in people and interpreters, not just your ability to sign, but you guys have experiences and you have skills, and I'd like to inventory them every year, and I put them in this business plan, and it goes to the CEO. This year I asked the CEO, and I was like, well, we have a lot of changes coming up. Is my business plan writing still relevant? And he was like, yes, it's always, your ideas are so great. He's like, definitely put them to pen and paper and then send them in. So there is a desire for that again this year. So what I'd like to ask you guys to do is kind of like reflect on your skills and like about our business, because our business is growing, and when you grow, new roles need to be filled. And so like what I see in 2019 as we expand is we need we're going to continue growing, and we're going to need people who can help out, or who have an interest in or skills in growth development. So one thing we do is like RFPs every year. These are like basically proposals for contracts for different agencies. So like think about, I'd like to know, I'm curious who has skills with like copywriting, editing, and research. I mean, those are probably 3 huge skills that I will need to pull teams to collaborate on through RFP season. So I'm curious who has that. And then, who among you are really good in sort of like data analytics, if you've had any experience, or through your interpreting experience, if you've interpreted for engineers or accountants or any kind of like computer programming classes, and you feel super comfortable with spreadsheets and data, and it speaks to you when you read it and you can analyze it. I'd love to know that kind of stuff. Management experience for sure. Who has experience being directors, call center managers, shift supervisors? Like, what kind of experience have you had? And so send me an email with kind of like a blurb of what you feel is your auxiliary talents, like that could be used by the company, or that you would be willing to use to support, because we're going to start building out some teams to support the growth that we have. And even something like an event planner, like if you have a hobby, because now at this point we have so many regions, so many employees, like we probably have 1 or 2 events going on every month in the company. And it's helpful to have an event plan, like someone with experience like that. So nothing is trivial. So think about your skills, send them to me. And it's kind of cool because this report, like, your name will be on it with 3 lines about your skills, and it goes right to the CEO and he reads it. So, would be your chance to sort of promote yourself. And we're definitely going to inventory these skills and follow up with people. We have a lot of projects going on right now. I don't know if any of you have any experience with this, but we have a team working on in freelance interpreting, so independent contractor compliance and law, like compliance with state laws and Department of Labor laws and business associate agreements, BAAs. So, a lot of research needs to be done because we work in different states, and we have to comply with the labor laws there. And every state, there's like the federal definition of independent contractors, and then each state defines it, and we have to find those differences. So, but anyways, those are kind of the updates. We have the SharePoint system being developed now, and I talked to the person in charge of developing it, Tammy DeFranco, yesterday about getting our licensing documents. We have a team, Tona and Michelle are working on collecting and sort of consolidating all the state licensing, need to know everything, and then like where will we house that. So I talked to Tammy, we're going to house that on SharePoint, so that'll be really great to have at like everything collected for all states, for all applications, all contact information, all news, right on one link. So that'll be coming out in January. But anyways, so that's kind of the updates for our group. We had one person write in with a question, but I've kind of already answered it. Their question was about how will they know who's working when, and how will we be able to, like, is there a way to know who's working when they're working and stuff like that? So right now there's really not. We just go on Teams and say, hi, anyone out there, and then you see who's working. But with Deputy, once we roll that out next week, yes, you will have visibility into the workforce. You'll see it's a workforce management tool. You'll have visibility into your schedules, your shifts, and others. So basically that's my answer to that. So no, we don't have it today, but like next week, it's coming, and we'll have that. So that's another reason why it's so great, because again, like with 30 or 40 people and 10 of them working at the same time, like of course we want to know who's working when. I mean, the workers want to know, so we need to have a good way of relaying that. But anyway, so that was the only question I had. And right now, so that's it for the questions. That's it for my updates. We have people on the line. Does anyone who joined the call today have questions? Okay, Vanessa Maxwell asked if there is a transfer feature update. So I don't have anything new beyond the fact that it's on the 2019 roadmap. But I have my monthly update with Language Line senior staff today, so I can bring that up then and ask them if they've had anything new on that. Any other questions? Okay, well, I'm going to get this downloaded, or I'm sorry, I'm going to get it uploaded and then post it on our SharePoint and get everyone invited. Oh, Vanessa asked how Thailand was. Thailand was fantastic. I actually am having a little bit of like vacation depression because it was so nice. And if any of you live in upstate New York or in a cold area, you know what it's like to like go to a tropical white sand beach for 2 weeks and then come home to gray -20-degree weather. It's very difficult transition, but yeah, Thailand was awesome, and I highly recommend it as a vacation spot. So, but anyways, thanks for asking. And let's see, what happened to the interpreter? Naomi Miller question: what happened to the interpreter observer?
That would be Pam. Pam from North Carolina.
Pam. Oh, yeah.
That came up a lot.
The SCL.
Yeah,
so what do you mean? Yeah. What happened to her? Did something happen that I don't know?
Well, we just don't see her anymore, you know?
Oh, right.
We see her about every 2 weeks or so. We don't see her anymore.
That is just a sign that you're doing great. Okay, so the the quality assurance observations are done. It's not over with. Naomi asked if it was over with, but they're not over with. But the quality assurance evaluations are done in a frequency based on either the length of your employment or the quality of your historical observations. So when a new employee starts, they will have maybe even up to 2 or 3 a month of the call evaluations. And then as they continue to work and they have continued meeting improvement, meeting expectations exceeding, if they have a whole series of those employees get moved down the list and new hires come in. So the longer you work here, or the more frequent you have meeting or exceeding expectations reports, the less frequently you'll be evaluated. And so if you haven't seen her in the last 6 weeks, that's probably because we've onboarded like 20 people. So she's busy evaluating the brand new hires. And so I'm sure you guys will see her. I mean, the evaluations are just a part of our job. The frequency in which they happen, actually, it just depends on like how new you are, what your history is, and then like how large of a hiring group do we have, because we just had a huge hiring group. So I wouldn't expect that you guys would have, like, you more older employees would have them that frequently over the next few weeks, because she's going to be busy doing all the new hires. We have 4 new hires for a class on January 1st, and we have 3 new hires for a class on January 18th. So she's going to be pretty busy doing those. But that's a great question. Okay. Anyone else? Okay then. That's it for today. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.